Today is Wednesday, February 11, 2026. I'm Tom Worth, and I want to go back to November 2nd of last year. Trump was on 60 Minutes, and he was going to be questioned about a pardon of the founder of Binance, a crypto firm, a large crypto firm. This founder, Zhao, was found guilty of enabling, not just allowing, but enabling money laundering on his large crypto exchange under the Biden administration, and was convicted, and he was not allowed to run any kind of cryptocurrency firms anymore, and was sentenced to 4 years in prison, which he served, and he got out in September of 2024. Trump went ahead and pardoned him last September, and you might wonder why he pardoned him. He was already convicted. He served his sentence, got out a year earlier. Well, pardoning him allowed him to, it just erased everything. It erased a conviction. It erased any restrictions that were on him of running financial firms. It also allowed the UAE government to do business with him and with Binance if they so chose, because they have restrictions. They have financial restrictions. Yes, even the United Arab Emirates has some laws in their country, and they needed this guy to not have the U.S. convictions on him. And when on 60 Minutes back on November 2nd, knowing he was going to be asked, being all prepared with his answer, here's what Trump said when asked. He said, quote, "Okay, are you ready? I don't know who he is." Now remember, he went all off on Biden with his auto pen pardons, that all of these pardons should be all invalid because Biden didn't know who the people he was pardoning were. And here's Trump literally saying, okay, are you ready? I don't know who he is. And yet he pardoned this guy. And why is this a big deal? Well, this is a big $2 billion deal because right when Trump was about to be inaugurated, Trump family companies took a $187 million investment from a sheikh over in the UAE, who is the brother of the president of the United Arab Emirates. He's also the head of their security. He's also the head of their sovereign wealth fund, over $1 trillion fund. This guy is very important, very powerful. And this guy put $187 million into Trump family business interests just before Trump's inauguration. And what he had wanted to get done under Biden, this sheikh, was secure really the most advanced AI chips that the U.S. had. And the Biden administration said, absolutely not. You cannot have these chips over there because your company, Mr. Sheikh of the UAE, you're completely in bed with China and Chinese companies and Chinese crypto companies and the Chinese national security apparatus, the Chinese surveillance apparatus. So no, you can't have all of our most advanced chips. Well, the sheikh never gave up on that dream. And so when Trump won the election, he was just, greasing the palms of anyone he could, and he put $187 million into Trump family companies. These were not at first crypto companies. The companies didn't even have a product. The World Liberty Financial didn't even have a product at the time. They were working on something called a stable coin. And it turns out Binance helped them develop their own stable coin. So this gets so convoluted. I'm using multiple sources here, but mainly a Wall Street Journal article from Saturday night, a week and a half ago, on January 31st, talking about the spy sheikh's investment in Trump's companies. And then another article in the Journal this past Saturday morning, just more about Trump's children and Steve Witkoff's son heading up these billion-dollar crypto firms. And of course, this has nothing to do with Donald Trump. He says, I don't know anything about crypto. I know it's good. Trump used to be very against crypto, which was surprising because one of the main purposes of crypto is it's allowing money laundering. It's untraceable. It would be perfect for Trump and his family entities and his dealings and his money coming in from everywhere and people you don't want him to know that money's coming in from. He is big into crypto now. He ran on that. He was going to be the crypto president, even though he doesn't understand it. His sons don't understand it. One of them said he would need to go to MIT to understand what this crypto company scheme he was being proposed, what it even meant. So they have no understanding of it. All they know is there's billions of dollars in it for them personally. And when these companies have investments in them, that's usually like, it seems like Witkoff's son is kind of the brains behind actually understanding a lot of this stuff and then dealing with people who are actually smart enough to set it all up. He actually does, Zach Witkoff is his name. He actually seems to understand this stuff. And the Trump family usually gets like an 80% cut of the thing, and then the Witkoffs get a 20%, something along those lines. But once these investments are made in these cryptocurrencies, in this stable coin, for instance, they can be quickly cashed out. But if you are an actual investor in the company, it's a publicly traded company, say, you are subject to lockup rules. You're not allowed to sell your investment in this company for some pre-specified lockup term. Might be 60 days, 90 days, 6 months, whatever it is. So you have to sit here and hold this stock, which has gone up multiple times. Then the Trumps and Witkoffs are able to actually convert theirs into cash, which renders your initial stock investment almost worthless, and then you just have to sit there holding a big bag of nothing, and they ride off with all the money. But it's not all that they do, because then they parlay this into more investments. So this $187 million initial investment by this UAE sheikh, well, he later turned around this summer and fall and put $2 billion into Bitcoin when Zhao was being pardoned. And the way he did that was by taking $2 billion worth of the World Liberty Financial stablecoin. World Liberty Financial is the firm headed up by the Trump sons and the Witkoff son. The sheikh got $2 billion worth of that stablecoin and took that and put it into Bitcoin, which is now headed by CZ Zhao again. For CZ Zhao's part, he says, hey, I don't have anything to do with this. Maybe some of my engineers helped them set up something. I don't know about any of that. But all I know is I demand to be paid in stablecoin, and I needed $2 billion for my payment. And I can't choose the stablecoin that this sheikh chooses to pay me in. And it was $2 billion worth of World Liberty Financial stablecoin that he puts into my company. Okay, that's fine. Now this World Liberty Financial stablecoin has become pretty influential, because you're talking billions of dollars now, because of this UAE guy in charge of their 1 trillion dollar sovereign wealth fund. Okay, all of this is shocking, shady, exactly what you would think out of Trump, right? But what's illegal about it? Well, you have the emoluments clause, obviously violated. You have outright bribery, but that's not the worst of it. What the worst of it is go back to these high-powered chips that the Biden administration said absolutely not. The UAE, you cannot have these. Your company that your spy sheikh owns, this G42 is what the company's called. You can't have these high-powered AI chips, because we know that you will turn around and sell them to the Chinese. And yeah, you might be buying them for a ton of money from our US companies, but you're going to sell them for way more to the Chinese because the Chinese aren't allowed to buy these from American companies. It's illegal. It's illegal on our side. The Chinese would love to do it, but the US government won't allow it. Republicans won't allow it. Democrats won't allow it. National security experts, absolutely not. You cannot have these advanced AI chips. And if they go to this sheikh and his companies, they will end up in China. So, can't do that. Well, what does Trump agree to do? Shortly after the $187 million investment into his family company just before his inauguration, he turns around a few months later and approves the sale of 500,000 of these AI chips to the UAE. Okay, now are you starting to see why this could be problematic? This is actually the national security interest of the United States for sale directly by Donald Trump and his children, and Steve Witkoff and his son. It's just a direct national security violation. For an idea of the scale of this amount of chips, this sheikh wanted to build one of the world's largest data centers, is what he said, over in the UAE. He didn't make any mention of how much of it would be finding its way to China. But for his part, this data center would require the energy equivalent on an annual basis, equivalent to 2 Hoover dams. If you've ever seen a Hoover Dam out near Las Vegas, it's gigantic. It generates enormous amounts of electricity. And this one data center that this guy wants to build with some of these chips would require that output times 2 on an annual basis, just to run it, just the electricity. This is massive scale that this guy's trying to acquire. Now, Trump did actually scale back the amount of chips. It was in the tens of thousands, not 500,000. Don't think they've actually been delivered yet because there's a lot of pushback in Congress on both sides of the aisle here and the national security structure of the United States. Like all kinds of people. This is a 5-alarm fire. It's been described as if these chips find their way over there, like kind of game over with China. They're just a couple years behind us tech-wise with the AI, but that's because their chips are nowhere near as powerful as ours. And if they have access to our actual technology chip-wise, I mean, forget it. They will overtake us. They have put so much into this. This is all very problematic. It's all going straight to Donald Trump's bottom line. He claims, as always, not to know any of these people involved, doesn't know what's going on. His quote about his son, he says, it is a former President Joe Biden of waging a, quote, witch hunt against CZ, even as Trump repeatedly denied knowledge of his case. Quote, my sons are involved in crypto much more than me. I know very little about it. Other than one thing, it's a huge industry, and if we're not going to be the head of it, China, Japan, or someplace else is. And he knows full well he is enabling China to lead in AI. I mean, forget about crypto. The cat's out of the bag with crypto. That's just playing whack-a-mole with all this untraceable money laundering everywhere with crypto. But the AI is the big thing. This is hugely problematic on a national security level. This is the kind of thing that may get Republicans' attention even more than the Epstein files. Sexual abuse of 9-year-old girls, torture videos sent by Middle Eastern sultans. That doesn't seem to be doing the trick for many of them. We did have one Republican senator, a woman come out who I guess was okay with everything that had come out before until she personally saw an unredacted email yesterday talking about a 9-year-old abuse victim. I don't know where her head has been in all of this. We've known all along. It's 9-year-old girls. It's 14-year-old girls, 17-year-old girls. I don't know why suddenly she sees an email and isn't okay with it. They may slowly come around on that. I doubt it. They're more likely to come around on national security interests, I think. I don't know. I don't know where the Republicans are at in this. I honestly don't. It's inexplicable. But that's where Trump is on national security and billion-dollar grifts and the Middle East. The Wall Street Journal article from the 31st, it had a nice end, a nice tie-up of everything, talking about the relationship between the U.S. and the UAE. Trump predicted would, quote, only get bigger and better. Trump told Mohammed is not the sheikh, he's the president, quote, your relationship and mine can't get better, so I can't say it's going to get better because it's at the highest level it can be. In September, under a deal negotiated by the Trump administration, MGX, that's one of the sheikh's companies, became one of a handful of investors selected to operate TikTok in the U.S. This is just a gold mine that China was forced to hand over to Trump's handpicked Larry Ellison and also this MGX company by the sheikh. The next month, Trump pardoned Zhao. This is CZ Zhao. So he's scot-free. He can run anything he wants in the U.S. or in the UAE or whatever. Anyone can have dealings with him now. Sparking outrage from Democratic lawmakers who accused him of selling pardons to the highest bidder. Then on October 22nd, the day before the White House confirmed Trump had signed the pardon, Witkoff and Kushner were back in Abu Dhabi in the UAE to discuss Gaza, Israel, and Trump's plan for a board of peace, the White House official said. They were meeting with Tahnoun. That is the spy sheikh. Did he buy a seat on the board of peace for the UAE? Of course he did. Of course he did. That's it. That's it for today. Thanks for watching. Give it a like and subscribe if you would. Appreciate it. And keep yourselves informed. That's what we all need to do. See ya.